So I've never been the type to do a rant video in particular, but I wanted to address some questions because I was back home for about 3 weeks. The entire time that I'm there, I'm a part of a couple WhatsApp group chats, and people were just talking about a lot of negative aspects of living in Colombia. And at the same time, like national attention or international attention is being brought to some of the tourists being killed in Medellin specifically, but in Colombia and Latin America at large. And the question remains, is Colombia still safe to visit?
Yeah. Y'all know what time it is, man. We represent to go on this one. Yeah.
Obviously, when you get past the mala fama from the 90s, in the last, let's say 10 to 15 years, expats moving to Colombia has really picked up. And what you'll see, especially since the pandemic, because of the digital nomads, a lot of people have decided to make Colombia their permanent residency, or at least 3 to 6 months out the year, people are working online. I know people that do that from Colombia, they do it from Mexico, from Brazil, and it's become a trend because your job's flexibility, right? Pre-pandemic, they always said you have to come into the office. Post-pandemic, a lot of places are still saying come in once a week, come in every so often, or just work 100% virtually. With that said, it has caused a lot of gentrification in a lot of places. There was a place I was paying like 1.6 million pesos a month for, which is, I'm guessing $500. No, it's a little bit less than $500. And that same place now is going for about 4 million pesos a month, which is like $1,000. So it's doubled in the course of 4 years. And a lot of that is due to the influx of foreigners, not just Americans, but people from the UK, Australia, Canada, coming to live in Colombia. Now, during the pandemic, one thing that people have to realize is that a lot of the progress they were making socially within the country got just wiped out. People that were considered middle class, that had decent jobs, able to take care of their family, a lot of that got wiped out. And with that comes a sense of desperation. So we have seen, statistically speaking, an increase in the amount of like robberies, drug victims. People, they will drug you and rob you. I can name off several people that's actually happened to that I personally know, and then hundreds, if not thousands, of stories of people coming to Colombia being drugged and robbed. With that said, is it safe to come to visit? Is it safe to live in Colombia? Of course. Rule number 1 from when I first came to Colombia was don't give papaya. No doubt papaya. And that's just to say, like, don't make yourself an easy target. Don't make yourself a victim. A lot of these guys, not all, but a lot of these guys are meeting girls on Tinder, which is probably one of the worst dating apps to use. They're meeting girls on Tinder and their antennas aren't working. These girls are saying things like, hey, can I come over to your house right now? That's not normal female behavior. That's not normal woman behavior. Look, I'm a decent looking guy. I call myself slightly above average. If a girl wants to come over to my house after 15 minutes of chatting via an online site or an application, my spider senses are gonna kick in. Something's up because she's not worried about her safety. So if she's not worried about her safety, I need to be worried about mine. She doesn't know me. I could be a psychopath. I could be crazy. I could be homeless. You don't know. So why does she want to come over to my house? Because I'm a foreigner. There's no shortage of guys in Colombia. So they have guys they can see if they really want to get down and dirty. So that means they're trying to be up to something. I can think of a circumstance pre-pandemic. I was with my boy Lamont and we were in a spot right outside of Parquilleras. This is before Parquilleras got out of control. And we were talking to 2 friends of ours that are Latinas, but they speak English perfectly. So we were speaking to them at a bar, we had drinks, we were talking to them for about an hour. And then they went to the bathroom, the girls we were talking to. And within 30 seconds of them going to the bathroom, 2, I believe, Colombian chicks approached us, Spices, and like, hola papi, touching me and stuff like that. And I'm like, again, I'm a decent looking dude, but that's not normal female behavior. So I told them, I'm good. I don't know what you guys want, but please get away from me, right? Now, some guys on vacation, especially if they're overly intoxicated, in their mind thinking, hey, you know what? Maybe I am that dude. Maybe I am that good looking. And they fall for the okie doke. Now, as soon as those girls left, I looked back at our drinks. I was sitting on the bar, completely exposed, and I told the bartender we needed new drinks. And we paid the difference, but I didn't trust that scenario. I didn't trust what was going on in that situation. So you need to pay attention to those minor things that could become major in the future. Again, if you're supposed to meet up with someone one-on-one and all of a sudden they invite an extra person, like, hey, my friend is coming, my cousin. Now you're outnumbered. One thing from my experience in law enforcement is we always have a thing called mass. You always see like a cop car, they pull somebody over and they got 2 or 3 squad cars behind them. And people are like, is that necessary? Well, yes. For one, in one car, you could have 4 people that could be all suspects. And in one cop car, you might only have 1 cop. So they need those 2, 3 extra backup units in case things get out of control. Take that in consideration when you're meeting up with people. If it's one-on-one, cool. If they want to bring a friend, you bring a friend. You don't want to be in, maybe have one of you guys not drinking. But this is something you have to think about when considering meeting up with people, because we do live in a strange world where people will try to take advantage of you. If you're out 1 o'clock, 2, 3 in the morning out on the streets looking for stuff, trouble will find you. Very seldomly, people that are minding their own business, people that are going out with people that they know, they feel like they have trust in, still get drugged and robbed. It does happen, but very infrequently. As far as the amount of deaths, I can't speak to that. Extremely tragic. I feel bad for anybody that lost their life senselessly in the last year, or any time for that matter. I will say, coming from the States, if you go through the crime index by the FBI, look at the top 20 worst cities per capita in the United States, my city is number 7. Okay, Rockford, Illinois is number 7. And St. Louis, I believe, is number 1. I lived in St. Louis. I'm from Rockford, and number 20 is Chicago, and I live in Chicago. So crime is crime everywhere. Protect yourself at all times. You have to always take in consideration that people might be trying to get you, male or female. And I was watching a video the other day about some guy who almost got kidnapped and robbed or killed or something in the mountains in Medellin. And his story is crazy, and I believe it, but it's like, dude, like, you gotta read the room. It was so many ways he should have not avoided that situation. And thank God he escaped with his life, but it was so avoidable. And you don't want to come here and be a hermit. You don't want to come here and stay in your Airbnb the entire time. You don't want to come here just to only hang out with expats. You do want to get to know the city. You do want to get to know the culture, learn the language, and there's a way to go about that. And I think trying to do things too quickly, coming down here and, hey, I got to go on 10 dates, that can get you in trouble. Trying to do too much, being really drunk in a foreign land. Again, these are the things that even when I'm back home, I'm cognizant of how much I've been drinking, who I'm with, who I'm around, even more so when you're abroad. So, I guess to answer the question, is Colombia safe? Yes, but just don't be an idiot. Put certain things in place. Be careful about who you let into your space. Be careful about whose space you go over to. It helps, don't have your cell phone out in certain areas. Make sure you have a data plan to be able to call an Uber or InDriver, which is an app they use here. Just be smart about your circumstances and your surroundings. And you can do all that and still have a great time safely. I've been here 8 years. Have had no incidents or problems with going out on dates and hanging out with people. But I have friends that one weekend here, drugged and robbed. And a lot of times that's when they don't take certain advice. I can't say my advice, I don't know it all. I could have put myself at risk a few times. Sometimes we're fortunate and sometimes we're unfortunate. And I don't like to victim blame. I don't like to point the finger because it could be anybody the next time. I don't want to say it could be me the next time because it's not going to be me. I'm not going. But yes, come to Colombia, but be smart about it. They're cleaning up things. I like the fact that Cartagena put out an initiative to clean up the obvious prostitution that was happening by the clock tower and other areas there. It's like to the point where it's like, man, bruh, like what are we doing here? Make it more familiar. I've been coming here since 2015. I've been living here since 2016. So I've seen the wide spectrum of things in these last 8 to 9 years. I don't think the inflation is going to go down. I think the gentrification is going to continue to happen. And some of that breeds animosity from the Colombians that can no longer live in their neighborhoods. And so they may be acting like they're your friends, and they may not be. And there's a lot of genuinely good Colombians and Venezuelans here, because you got a lot of xenophobia against Venezuelans here, that will look in your best interest. You just got to vet people. Okay, every expat I meet is not, it's not your friend. There's a bunch of foreigners that come here to scam people. There's a bunch of backpackers that steal their way from country to country. So those are the things you need to take in consideration when you're traveling. Try to, be safe, be positive, enjoy yourself. Use Google, it's your friend. Use Facebook groups, it's your friend. Use WhatsApp group chats, it's your friend. Use that information. Use all that stuff to your advantage. Don't try to do things too quickly. Definitely don't be a lone ranger out here trying to conquer the world. It'll just get you in trouble. So if you guys have any questions for me, again, I don't normally do these videos, but a lot of times doing the long form videos, when you gotta do editing and you gotta throw in all these graphics, it just makes it impossible to upload content. So I wanted to try something new today before I hit to the gym. You know what I'm saying? It's a Sunday this way, beautiful 85 degrees. Sorry for my people out in Illinois that are freezing. I'll holler at y'all later, fam. Peace.
Yeah. Y'all know what time it is, man. We represent to go on this one. Yeah.